This is the second part of my video recording for Lab 1, which is the RDD programming. As you can see, I have already launched the Spark shell here because it's going to take a lot of time. I don't want it to be recorded in my video. The command I'm using is here. After that, I will load the data using the text file function. And for the next step, I will, oh, sorry about that. And for the next step, I will filter out the header using the filter function. The exclamation point here means no. So it will return each line that does not start with job title, which is the header of my data set. And afterwards, I will split the data into columns using the map function. So the map function will split each line into an array of strings using comma. And the next step is a little tricky here. For the next step, I want to map each row to a tuple, where the key is the company location and the value is the salary in US dollars. So in zero-base index, the company location is the 7th column, and the US salary in US dollars is the 8th column in my data set. That is why column 6 is representing company location, and column 7 is representing salary in US dollars. And I want to convert the salary in US dollar to a double, as you can see here. And double is numeric data type, just like float, but I think it's more precise and it has larger range. And the one here is the count of job numbers for future aggregation. But the thing is, when I run this command, the output of this command looks fine. But afterwards, when I try to calculate the average salary and then I try to sort the countries by average salary, I got an error. I took a screenshot of the error and it looks like this. So the error is saying there's a Java len number format exception for import string company location was thrown. And I Googled. So I think the error is because the program is trying to convert a string that contains non-numeric characters to a number. But back then, I didn't know about that. So I was like, maybe something wrong with my data set. So I add a filter function before the map function. I want to filter out all the empty values for the salary in US dollar column. But still, I got the same error. That is how I came up with the final command here, and which is also correct for the map reduce job. I add one new function here for all, and this command is to check every character in the string representing the salary is a digit or not. And the reason I need to ensure the salary in US dollar field only contains numeric data is that if I don't have this function, I'm going to get the same error again and again. And it took me a lot of time to debug here. So let me run the correct command here. Awesome. Let's move on to the next step. So for the next step, I want to reduce the data to get the sum of salaries and count of occurrences for each country. So in map data is here. So in map data, each item is a tuple where the first element is the company location. Also the key and the second element. The second element is another tuple that containing two elements. And the first element is the salary, and the second element is the count of job numbers. So in this command, the x, y here, they are parameters. They represent the values of two items that are being reduced together. Those are just like temporary variables used to hold data. And the new tuple has the sum of salaries. This is the first element. And the new tuple also has the sum of job counts, which is the second element here. Awesome. So let's move on to the next step. So for next step, I want to calculate the average salary for each country. And for here, I'm using, oh, I forgot to say, because it's the professor mentioned it is really important to note that the reduce by key function and the reduce by key function, I'm also using the reduce by key function to group all the items, which is the company location, salary in US dollars, and then the job count. Okay, let's move on to the calculation of the average salary. Here I'm using the map values function. And map values function, it will operate on the values of key value pairs, while the key, which is the company location in my case, still remain the same. And the x dot underscore 1 is the first element of the tuple x, which represents the total salary for a country. And the x dot underscore 2 is the second element of the tuple x, which represents the total count of occurrences for a company location. Let's move on to the next step. And in next step, I want to sort the countries by average salary in descending order and only take the top 3 countries. And I'm using the I'm using an anonymous function here inside the sort by function. Sort by is a function that will sort the data in the RDD based on a specified ordering. And here inside the sort by function, pair is a tuple representing a key value pair in the RDD, and the key is still the company location, and the value is the average salary for the country. So in here, pair dot underscore 2 will extract the value, which is the average salary from each key value pair. So the sort by, the reason, so for here, ascending equal false. I want to order my result in a descending way, but I checked some documentation. Sort by does not have a descending argument, so I can't put like descending equal true here. It only has the ascending argument. That is why I use this instead of other statement. And finally, I use take 3, which just like the collect that the professor used in class. I want to collect the top 3 records here and return the result. See, now I finally got the right output, because when I use the other wrong statement here, I will only get an number format exception error. And as what I wanted, the top 3 countries contains an array of that is consisted of a string element and then a double element. And sorry about that. And let's move on to the print out step. So in this step, I wanted to print out the top 3 countries and also their average salaries. And the output is exactly the same as what I got from HypeQuery. So now let's move on to our next RDD MapReduce job. So in the next job here, I want to see the distribution of data science related jobs salaries, like what's the average job salary for different experience level, and what is the minimum wage for data science related jobs in different experience level, and then what's the minimum wage. So the first step I do in my next RDD programming is I want to filter out rows where salary in US dollars is null or empty. Because if I don't do this step, I will get the same numbers format exception error as what I got from my last RDD MapReduce job. So I want to store all the data that is non-empty in salary in US dollar here, and then I want to make sure all the values in the US salary in US dollars is a digit, and I store them in RDD valid data here. Everything looks correct. Let's move on to the next step. So to the next step, I want to map the data to a key value pair RDD. So the key here is the experience level, which is column 2. And the value is containing salary in US dollars, which will be converted to double, count of job numbers, again, salary in US dollars, because I will use it to calculate the average salary. Oh, no, sorry, that's the average salary. I will use it to calculate the minimum wage later, and then another salary in US dollars converted to double because I want to calculate the maximum wage later on. Now let's move to the next step. For the next step, I want to use reduce by key function to calculate the total salary, count of job numbers, minimum salary, and then maximum salary, and group them by experience level. So here, x dot underscore 1 and y dot underscore 1, they refer to the total salary accumulated so far for a particular experience level from two different sets of data, and they will be merged together. And x dot underscore 2, y dot underscore 2, they refer to the count of jobs accumulated so far, and the x dot underscore 3, and then y dot underscore 3, they refer to the minimum wage, and just like that, x dot underscore 4 and y dot underscore 4 is the maximum salary here. Let's run the yeah, everything looks great. So, oh, I forgot to mention. So in this function, reduce by key, I'm also using the reduce by key function, and it will aggregate the data by the key, which is the experience level here, and for each level, it calculates the elements that I just mentioned before. And the next step is I'm also getting an error from the first command I wrote here. So for the next step, I want to map the reduced data to calculate the average salary per experience level. So first I wrote this statement to calculate the average salary, but when I run it, I can run it and see the error here. As you can see, there is an error says wrong number of parameters. expected equal 1. And I checked why I'm getting, I checked Google, I checked documentation, why I'm getting this error. I think it's because the way the map function in scalar is expecting its function argument as a single argument. But in this command I wrote here, I'm passing a function that takes two arguments, experience and then the stats, which is statistics here. So I use the case. Okay, so I was like, I don't know what to do because I'm not, it is not taught in class. So I was like checking some others codes. So I came up with using case here. And the case is a keyword to define a block of code for pattern matching that can deconstruct one tuple here into two variables, experience and stats here. Because it is not taught in school, so I'm not gonna lie, I did check others codes for that. Let me paste the right command here. Yes, it's returned the RDD that I want. The string is the company location. The integer here is the count of job numbers, and then average salary, minimum salary, maximum salary. Let's move on to next step. So for the next step, I'm just simply using the sort by function as I used in the first RDD MapReduce job here to sort the data by the count of jobs in a descending order. Everything looks fine. Okay, so the last step, I want to collect all the data and I want to print the result here. Hence the collect function and then the for each function here. Yeah, I'm so happy that I got the same correct result as I got from my Hive query. Experience level is grouped by experience level, and then the job count, average salary, and then the minimum salary, and then the maximum salary. So it is what I want here. And I spent a lot of time on debugging as I get some errors, but I'm really happy. Finally, I came up a successful result, I would say, and it was a lot of fun. And thank you so much for reviewing my video. It is my first time, so it might be a little long, but thank you so much. Okay, now I'm gonna stop recording here.